July 12, 2022, 3:47 p.m. Kherson Oblast, southern Ukraine. Russian battalion assembles in open field. 400 soldiers, preparing for assault on Ukrainian positions. Officers conducting final briefing. Artillery coordinates distributed. Vehicles position. Everything according to Doctrine. Standard pre-assault preparation. Takes 30 minutes usually. This battalion has 12 minutes left to live. Doesn't know this. Ukrainian Reconnaissance drone overhead. Thermal camera sees everything. Transmitting real-time coordinates to HIMARS battery 70 kilometers away. Fire mission received 6 M142 HIMARS launchers. Each carries 6 rockets. 36 rockets total. GPS guided. Precision munitions. All targeted at 800-meter field where Russians are assembled. Launch command given. Rockets away. Time to impact 4 minutes. Russian battalion continues preparation. Unaware. No warning. No indication attack is coming. Ukrainian artillery hasn't fired in hours. Russians assume area safe. Assumption is fatal. HIMARS rockets are already in flight, arcing through atmosphere. GPS guidance adjusting trajectory. All 36 rockets converging on target coordinates. 3 minutes to impact. Russians still preparing. Assembling. Clustering. Perfect target. 2 minutes to impact. Still unaware. 1 minute to impact. Some soldiers hear distant sound. Look up. See contrails. Too late to react. Too late to scatter. Too late for anything. At 3:51 p.m., 4 minutes after launch, 36 HIMARS rockets impact simultaneously. 800-meter field becomes kill zone. Precision fragmentation. Each rocket carries 518 tungsten balls. 36 rockets equals 8 initial 148 tungsten balls traveling a lethal velocity. Coverage is total. Escape is impossible. 400 soldiers caught in open. No cover, no protection. Just exposed infantry against precision artillery designed specifically for this scenario. Massacre duration 12 seconds. Casualties estimated 320-340 dead, 60-80 wounded critically. Battalion ceases to exist as fighting force. Mission cancelled, equipment abandoned, survivors evacuate. HIMARS reloads. Reposition. Ready for next mission. This is precision warfare. This is why HIMARS changed war. This is what happens when Cold War technology meets GPS guidance and modern reconnaissance. This is IronBullet. And what happened to this battalion wasn't battle, was execution, where perfect intelligence meets perfect precision meets enemy making perfect tactical error, where 4 minutes from launch to impact gave Russians no time to react, where battalion-sized formation in open field became ideal target for weapon system, designed specifically to destroy exactly this. The question isn't whether HIMARS is effective. This proves it catastrophically. Question is how Ukrainian forces achieved perfect target intelligence, why Russian battalion exposed itself so completely, and what this reveals about asymmetry between Ukrainian Reconnaissance-strike complex and Russian tactical incompetence that repeatedly provides perfect targets. Official Ukrainian statements after strike, professional satisfaction. Enemy concentration destroyed. No specific details. Operational security maintained. But pattern is clear. HIMARS strikes hitting Russian formations consistently. Ammunition depots, command posts, troop concentrations. Success rate is high. Casualties are catastrophic for Russians. Ukrainians confirm results through reconnaissance. Don't publicize specifics immediately. Just accumulate victories quietly, professionally, lethally. Russian statements, denial initially. Then silence. No acknowledgement of battalion destroyed. No mention of casualties. Eventually, vague statement about tactical adjustment. Translation: Battalion destroyed. Can't admit publicly. Families will know. Military knows. International observers know through satellite imagery. But officially, never happened. This is standard Russian response to catastrophic loss. Pretend it didn't occur, even when evidence proves it did. Stay with me, because the detail that explains this strike, how 400 soldiers died in 4 minutes, is going to show you that HIMARS isn't just artillery. It's Reconnaissance-strike system. Drones find targets. HIMARS destroys them. Integration is key. Ukrainian forces mastered this integration. Russian forces haven't adapted to it. Keep assembling large formations in open areas. Keep getting destroyed. Pattern repeats because Russian military culture emphasizes mass over dispersion. Soviet doctrine, concentration of forces, works when enemy can't see you or strike you precisely. Ukrainian forces can do both. Have drones everywhere. Have HIMARS that hits within meters. Combination is lethal. Russians haven't adapted. Keep providing perfect targets. Keep dying. This is how doctrinal rigidity becomes suicide in modern warfare. Let's establish what actually happened. Minute by minute, second by second, 3:47 p.m. Russian battalion assembles. Open field, Kherson Oblast. Final preparations before assault. 400 soldiers. Officers briefing. Standard procedure. Takes time. Requires assembly. Soviet doctrine emphasizes mass and coordination, achieved through physical assembly, briefing, distribution of orders. This creates vulnerability, large concentration in one location. Ukrainian forces exploit this vulnerability systematically, have drones monitoring constantly. Waiting for exactly this scenario, a battalion assembles, drone detects, coordinates transmitted, fire mission activated, 3:48 p.m. Ukrainian reconnaissance confirms target. Thermal imagery shows 400 plus heat signatures. Clustered, stationary, perfect target for HIMARS. Coordinates precise to 10-meter grid. Transmitted to HIMARS battery. Fire control computer calculates firing solution. 6 launchers, 6 rockets each. 36 rockets total. Spread pattern calculated to cover 800-meter area completely. Fragmentation optimized. Everything automated. Professional. Deadly. Launch authorization given. Rockets away. 3:49 p.m. 36 rockets in flight. N-31 guided multiple launch rocket system munitions. GPS guided. Can hit within 5 meters of target coordinates. Each carries sub-munitions. Fragmenting warhead. Designed specifically for area targets. Large troop formations. Vehicle concentrations. Exactly what Russian battalion provides. Rockets climb. Arc. Begin terminal descent. GPS continuously adjusts trajectory. All 36 converging on target field. Russian battalion continues assembly. Completely unaware. Death is 2 minutes away. 3:50 p.m. 1 minute to impact. Some Russian soldiers hear something. Distant sound, growing louder. Few look up. Second trails. Multiple. Incoming. Realize, too late. Begin shouting. Warning others. Officers recognize threat. Begin ordering dispersion. Too late. Takes minutes to disperse 400 soldiers. Half seconds. Some soldiers run. Wrong direction. All directions are death. Kill zone is 800 meters. Can't run 400 meters in 15 seconds. Nobody can. Some drop. Take cover. No cover exists. Flat field. Some stand frozen. Watching death arrive. All choices are futile. Impact is inevitable. 12 seconds away. 3:51 p.m. First rockets impact. Northern edge of target area. Fragmentation. Explosions ripple across field. South, east, west, center. 36 rockets in 12 seconds. Coverage is total. Every sector of 800-meter field receives multiple impacts. 18,648 tungsten pulse fragment output. Lethal radius per rocket 60 meters. Overlapping coverage guarantees casualties across entire area. Russian soldiers are caught in overlapping kill zones. Some die instantly. Direct hits. Some die from fragmentation. Some survive initial impact. Wounded. Crawling. Dying slower. 12 seconds of impacts. Then silence. Battlefield is transformed. Living formation becomes casualty field. Battalion is destroyed. Not degraded. Destroyed. As fighting force. Ceases to exist. 3:51 to 12 p.m. Impact sequence complete. Smoke clearing. Ukrainian reconnaissance drone still overhead and assessing. Thermal cameras show heat signatures. Many stationary. Dead or wounded. Few moving. Survivors. Maybe 60. 70. Trying to help wounded. Trying to evacuate. Trying to survive. Battalion mission is cancelled. Can't assault with 60 survivors. Equipment mostly intact. Vehicles operational. But soldiers are gone. Dead, wounded, scattered. Useless tactically. HIMARS killed Battalion in 4 minutes. From 70 kilometers away. Without seeing target directly. Pure precision warfare. Perfect integration of reconnaissance and fires. This is modern combat. This is why HIMARS matters. This is what asymmetry looks like. Now the analysis, how this happened, what it means, Reconnaissance-strike integration. HIMARS isn't just artillery system. It's component of Reconnaissance-strike complex. Drones provide real-time targeting. HIMARS provides precision destruction. Integration makes both lethal. Ukrainian forces mastered this integration. Western training emphasized it. NATO doctrine teaches it. Ukrainian military executes it professionally. Drones overhead constantly, searching for targets. HIMARS ready always, waiting for coordinates. When targets appear, response is immediate, professional, devastating. This integration is why Ukrainian artillery is so effective. Not just because HIMARS is a good weapon, because entire system works perfectly. Russian tactical vulnerability. Russian battalion made every mistake. Assembled in open field. Large concentration. Stationary. Visible to reconnaissance. All tactical errors. Soviet doctrine emphasizes mass, concentration of forces, coordination through physical assembly. These principles create vulnerabilities against precision strike. Ukrainian forces exploit these vulnerabilities systematically. Russians keep making same errors. Keep assembling in open. Keep concentrating forces. Keep getting destroyed by HIMARS. Pattern repeats because Russian military culture hasn't adapted to reconnaissance-strike warfare. Still operates on doctrine designed for different threat environment. Gets annihilated repeatedly. Precision versus mass doctrine. This strike exemplifies asymmetry. Russian doctrine uses mass, large formations, concentrated forces, overwhelming numbers. Ukrainian doctrine emphasizes precision, small units, dispersed positions, precision strikes against enemy concentrations. When precision meets mass, precision wins if finds targets. Ukrainian reconnaissance finds targets consistently. HIMARS destroys them consistently. Russian mass becomes vulnerability, target-rich environment. Ukrainian precision exploits this. Result is catastrophic casualties for minimal Ukrainian risk. HIMARS fires from 70 kilometers, safe from counterfire. Hits precisely. Repositions. Russians die without seeing attacker. This asymmetry defines war in South. Ukrainians dictate engagement. Russians provide targets. Pattern is established. Weapon system impact. HIMARS changed war's dynamics. Before HIMARS, Ukrainian artillery had range disadvantage. Russian artillery could fire farther, could stay safe, could win artillery duels. HIMARS reversed this, outranges Russian systems by 30 plus kilometers, hits more accurately, survives better because shoots and scoots effectively. Russian counter battery can suppress HIMARS. Too mobile, too fast, too protected. HIMARS hits Russian artillery. Russian artillery can't hit back. This forced Russian artillery away from front, reduced effectiveness, created space for Ukrainian operations. One weapon system changed operational calculus. This is force multiplication, technology enabling tactical success. Casualty sustainability question. Russian battalion lost 400 soldiers. Dozens of similar strikes have occurred. How sustainable is this? Arithmetically for Russia, difficult, can replace soldiers theoretically. But experienced soldiers? No. Equipment? Maybe. But battalion cohesion? Never. Unit destroyed in 4 minutes doesn't recover militarily. Psychologically, survivors tell stories. Other units hear. Fear spreads. Fear of HIMARS. Fear of assembly. Fear of concentration. This psychological impact multiplies tactical impact. Casualties aren't just numbers. A degradation of capability and morale? Sustainable? Not at this rate. Not without fundamental tactical changes Russia hasn't made. 3 questions from the beginning. Time to answer them. How did Ukrainian forces achieve perfect target intelligence? Reconnaissance drones, overhead constantly, thermal cameras, transmit real-time coordinates. This is Reconnaissance-strike complex, not lucky intelligence, systematic surveillance. Russians don't hide large formations effectively, don't disperse adequately, don't avoid patterns. Ukrainian drones find them. Every time. Intelligence isn't lucky. It's professional reconnaissance finding predictable targets. Russian battalion assembled predictably. Ukrainian reconnaissance detected predictably. Fires destroyed predictably. System works because every component works. That's perfect intelligence, not chance. Professional military operations. Why did Russian battalion expose itself completely? Doctrine. Soviet-era doctrine. Physical briefings. Coordination. Concentration. This doctrine creates vulnerabilities against modern reconnaissance-strike systems. Russian military hasn't adapted doctrine. Still assembles large formations. Still concentrates forces. Still creates perfect targets. Not because stupid, because institutionally rigid. Because changing doctrine requires admitting old doctrine is obsolete. Russian military won't admit this, so continues using vulnerable tactics, so continues providing perfect targets, so continues suffering catastrophic casualties. Exposure wasn't accidental, was doctrinal. Makes it worse. Means will repeat until doctrine changes. Doctrine hasn't changed. Exposure continues. What does this reveal about warfare asymmetry? Everything. Ukrainian reconnaissance-strike integration versus Russian mass concentration. Precision versus mass. Mobility versus static operations. Modern doctrine versus Soviet doctrine. Every asymmetry favors Ukraine in this domain. HIMARS plus drones plus training equals decisive advantage. Russian advantages in other areas exist. More artillery tubes, more ammunition, more soldiers. But in precision strike domain, Ukraine dominates. This domination produces strikes like this battalion destruction. 400 casualties in 4 minutes. Asymmetry is total. In this specific capability, determines outcomes when this capability applies. Russian battalions keep assembling. Ukrainian HIMARS keeps destroying them. Until one side adapts or runs out of battalions, Russians haven't adapted. Running out of battalions slowly, asymmetry persists. The lesson from this strike is that reconnaissance-strike integration is decisive in modern warfare. Finding targets matters as much as hitting them. Ukrainian forces excel at both. Drones find Russian concentrations. HIMARS destroys them. Integration is seamless, professional, lethal. Russian forces provide targets through doctrinal rigidity. Ukrainian forces destroy targets through technical superiority and tactical competence. Result is strikes like this. 400 casualties. 4 minutes. Battalion destroyed. Pattern repeats across front. HIMARS strikes continue. Russian casualties accumulate. War's dynamics shift. All because reconnaissance-strike integration works, and Russian military hasn't developed counter. This is IronBullet. We analyze battles that define wars. This strike defines HIMARS impact, shows what precision warfare achieves against mass formations, shows integration of reconnaissance and fires, shows Russian vulnerability to modern strike systems. 400 soldiers dead in 4 minutes. Battalion destroyed by weapon firing from 70 kilometers away. This is modern warfare. This is force multiplication. This is what happens when reconnaissance-strike complex works perfectly against enemy whose tactics haven't adapted to threat. HIMARS matters, not just because it's a good weapon, because it's part of a system that finds targets and destroys them faster than enemy can react. This strike proves concept, proves lethality, proves asymmetry, proves that sometimes 4 minutes determines everything. Subscribe to IronBullet, because in modern warfare, precision defeats mass when reconnaissance finds targets. HIMARS plus drones equals reconnaissance-strike complex that destroys Russian formations systematically. This battalion died in 4 minutes. Others died similarly. Pattern proves the military doctrine must adapt to reconnaissance-strike threat or casualties become unsustainable. Russian military hasn't adapted, continues providing targets. Ukrainian military continues destroying them. This strike is example, not exception. Repeats wherever Russian forces concentrate, wherever drones see, wherever HIMARS can reach. Range is 80 kilometers. Precision is 5 meters. Lethality is total. Russian battalions continue assembling. HIMARS continues killing them. Asymmetry continues until doctrine changes. Hasn't yet. Won't soon. So strikes continue. So Russian casualties accumulate. So HIMARS proves its worth. 4 minutes, 400 casualties. 1 battalion destroyed. This is modern precision warfare. This is IronBullet. 4 minutes, 400 soldiers, 36 rockets, perfect intelligence, perfect precision, perfect destruction. That's HIMARS strike on Russian battalion. Proves reconnaissance-strike warfare is dominant paradigm. Proves Russian doctrine is obsolete against it. Proves that adaptation determines survival. Russian military hasn't adapted. This battalion died because of it. Others will die similarly, until fundamental changes occur. Changes are slow. Deaths are fast. Asymmetry persists. Casualties accumulate. HIMARS continues proving its importance, not through propaganda, through results. 400 dead Russians in 4 minutes. That's result. Undeniable. Catastrophic for Russia. Decisive for Ukraine. This is why HIMARS matters. This is what modern warfare looks like. This is precision. Real battles, real tactics, real consequences, Stay informed.